Old Gun Guy here. Welcome to the versatile 12 gauge shotgun video. I'll attempt to explain and demonstrate just how versatile a 12 gauge shotgun is. Of all the shotgun gauges, the 12 is the most popular and most useful for many reasons. It's well suited for taking small game in various forms, larger game, large game, depending on the loads you use, from birdshot to buckshot to slugs. It's the most powerful handheld weapon you can use, small arm, legal for civilians, for defensive purposes, home defense, personal protection. Shotgun is devastating. It ranges from, say, 0 to 20 yards with a smooth bore barrel, a tactical type shotgun. I'm going to use two different shotguns to demonstrate the versatility of these two weapons, or firearms. One is a Remington 870P police. It's Parkerized with 20-inch barrel, cylinder bore. It's a slide action or pump action shotgun. It has a 3-inch chamber, so it'll take 2 3/4 and 3-inch shells. Walnut stock, Parkerized. It's this firearm here. I also have a side saddle shell carrier on the left side of the receiver. And the other firearm is it's optimized for trap shooting. It's a TriStar G2 dedicated trap gun. It has a 30-inch barrel with the barrel is actually ported. A lot of features on the gun. After I explain what they are, I'm going to take the camera off the tripod and show you the two firearms. 30-inch barrel, interchangeable choke tubes, which means you can, the muzzle end of the barrel is threaded, and there's various choke constrictions you can put in, from improved cylinder all the way up to extra full. I have an extra full choke in this gun because I use it for trap shooting. It's a Turkish-made firearm. It's very well made. I've probably put 3,500 rounds through it so far, without a hip cup, trap shooting. And I'll show you the features of that in a second. You take the, it's also a 3-inch chambered gun. It has 2 3/4 and 3-inch chambers. I'll go into the features when I take it off the camera and show you, give you a close up. All right, first the TriStar. These are at the muzzle end, the removable interchangeable chokes. This gun came with a ported barrel from the factory. I don't think they do that anymore. They only ran this model a few years, and it was quite a bargain. It was only about $650. Large raised rib, fiber optic front sight. There's a mid-bead sight. It's semi-automatic. That would be the loading port. It's got an oversized charging handle for the bolt, oversized bolt release. Nice Turkish walnut. It's got an adjustable comb. This part of the stock you can raise and lower and adjust. Quite a good value. It has a 5-shot magazine, but there's a 2-shot plug in it because it's only used for trap shooting, so it's 3 shots total. The 870P is a police type shotgun, tactical type shotgun, home defense shotgun. It has rifled sights, so you can employ slugs. It has a 7-inch magazine, extended magazine tube. It takes 7 2 3/4 shells and 1 in the chamber for 8. It's Parkerized steel, walnut furniture, slide action. It's a slide action shotgun. Walnut, obviously got a carry strap on it, and a good recoil pad. Let me put this back on the tripod, and I'll go over the function and operation. I said before, this is a slide or pump action shotgun, very popular. Millions and millions made of the 870s and Mossbergs and Winchesters, various other manufacturers. This is optimized as a tactical or defensive shotgun. With the rifle sights, it can always double as a slug gun for deer hunting. You're deploying shotgun slugs out to the effective range is really 100 yards with a shotgun slug. Once you sight your sights in for the load you're going to use. What we mean by slide action here, this is going to be for the novices. If you've familiar with shotguns, you can skip this part. It has a action that trombones. Alright, that's how the action operates. Slides back and forth. You use muscle power to load and fire this gun. The safety is in the trigger guard. Right. This is the ejection port, and this is the loading port. This weapon's been cleared. If the weapon is locked forward, there's only two ways you can release the action. If you're firing it, pull the trigger and the action will unlock. You don't want to do that if you're not firing a gun. So you have a slide release on the underside in the front of the trigger guard, left side of the trigger guard. You depress it and the slide releases. So basically how this works is you can load it one of two ways. You can drop a shell in, run the slide forward, you got one in the chamber, and you turn the one over, push the shell lifter up, and feed rounds into the magazine tube, which is under the barrel. Alright, just about all pump action and semi-automatic shotguns use a magazine tube below the barrel. They're all pump and semi-auto shotguns that have detachable box magazines, but they are in the small minority. This is overwhelmingly the form factor you're going to find. The shells in the magazine, and if you didn't have load one in the chamber, to load the gun, you rack the slide back, the shell lifter goes down, trips the magazine, one shell goes onto the shell lifter. As the bolt goes back, it cocks the internal hammer in this firearm. When you bring the bolt forward, the shell lifter elevates the shell to align it with the bore of the shotgun, and the bolt pushes the shell into the chamber and locks. When you fire this gun, the action unlocks. You rapidly trombone the slide back. It will extract the spent shell casing, eject it out the ejection port. The shell lifter will go down and trip another round out of the magazine. We load it onto the shell lifter. The hammer will be cocked again internally. You run the slide forward, it will chamber another round, and you're ready to go. The semi-automatic shotgun works pretty much the same, except instead of muscle power, it's gas pressure and spring pressure that operates the action. There are two types. There are gas operated and recoil operated semi-automatics. They're both very popular. The Brenneke system is extremely popular, inertia recoil. The older Browning Auto 5 system was a long stroke recoil. The barrel and the bolt recoil into the action. We're not going to get into that right now. Basically what happens, you'll have a bolt release button here. There's a charging handle, it's attached to the bolt. There's the ejection port, same thing with the semi-auto. You get your shell lifter, you load it from underneath. You drop the shell in, you press the bolt release, and the bolt will fly forward under spring pressure and chamber around. So if you have the magazine loaded, and you have the bolt back, when you pull the bolt back, or the bolt operates back, it also cocks the hammer internally. Same thing, shell lifter trips around out of the magazine, elevates it, the breech block, the bolt pushes the shell in the chamber, and it's ready to go. When you fire this gun, about this point in the barrel here, there's gas ports drilled into the barrel. Gases start operating a piston. By the time the shot leaves the barrel and the pressure is dropped, the gas is starting to operate the action, unlock the bolt. Gas pressure drives the bolt back. It ejects the spent casing. Another one is loading the shell lifter. The hammer is cocked. The recoil spring pressure, when it reaches a stop, drives the bolt forward and loads another another round into the firearm, and away you go, shot after shot. And that's the basic operation of both. This gun's optimized for either hunting, trap shooting, skeet shooting, more so trap, the longer barrel, using birdshot loads. In this video, I'm going to employ both of these in non-traditional roles. I'll do a thermal effects test with birdshot with the TriStar. I'll do a choke or pattern comparison test with buckshot with both of these guns. I have this Black Aces tactical buckshot here, 2 3/4 inch shell, 1425 feet per second, 1/5 ounce of buckshot, which is 9 pellets, 9 pellet load. Here's an example of an expended one. When we talk about 2 3/4 inch, that's when the shell is fired. It's shorter when it's live. Both of these guns have 3-inch chambers. They'll take 3-inch shells or 2 3/4 inch shells. The trap gun has an extra full choke in it. This 870 has no choke. It's cylinder bore. So you will see the difference in pattern. I will do one test firing just the 870 at 2 IPSC targets, 7 yards from the gun and 17 yards from the gun. I'm going to line the 2 IPSC targets up one behind the other and hopefully hit both targets with one shot, the same shot of buckshot, and see how the pattern disperses. The rule of thumb is a tactical shotgun like this, 1 inch of shot dispersion for a yard the pellets are traveling away from the muzzle. So 7 yards, a 7-inch group, 17 yards, a 17-inch group. It could be smaller, it could be larger, depending on there's a lot of variables. The buckshot, is the shot hardened, is it copper plated, the buffer, the shot wad. Some of the tactical high-end buckshot loads have very good buffers, and the wad that the shot travels in when it's being fired down a barrel is high-tech and tends to keep the shot tighter for a longer distance. But a rule of thumb is basically 0 to 20 yards. All of your pellets should hit a man-sized target from a typical defensive type shotgun like this. I'll fire 2 separate patterns at 25 yards, one from the TriStar with the extra full choke and one with the Remington, and see the difference in pattern size. And we'll do a thermal effects shot with birdshot at 5 yards, 15 feet inside the house range. If this was your only shotgun and you had to defend your life and all you had was birdshot, is it effective? Yes, it's very effective. I'll show that. And the last test I'll do is I'm going to try and pattern some slugs from this, 50, maybe 100 yards, we'll see. And we'll get to it. And let's get to the shooting demonstration and see what we shall see. Okay, we're back. This is a non-traditional use of this type of firearm, but just to show you the versatility of a 12 gauge cylinder bore tactical home defense shotgun. I'm going to shoot clay pigeons from the ski throw here. The tree line is about 30-35 yards from my firing point, 30 yards or so, and we'll see what this 870 can do. That's 4 for 4. That shows you could actually press this into service for small game hunting if you had to. That would represent a game bird trying to put food on the table. It's not optimized for that, but it can be used for that. Rabbits, fast shooting shotgun. Obviously, it's got iron sights. It is far from ideal for shooting trap or skeet, but the 12 gauge is an extremely versatile weapon. You can use this particular gun in that role, and that was the purpose of this demonstration. I'll put the camera back a little further and repeat the same drill with me shooting the shotgun, so you know it's really not the A70 is doing this. Let's do that now. Frame, let's see. This up a little. Should be in the frame. And I missed one, but that's the way it goes. As you can see, a versatile weapon. Okay, we're back. We're going to demonstrate buckshot load, double buck 9 pellet load. Got two targets set up. One is going to be 7 yards from my shooting point. The other one's 10 yards beyond that. That's 17 yards. So 7 and 17 yards. I'm going to try and fire one shot and hit both targets. This is to show typical pattern entropy, or the spread of the shot at two different distances with one round. Let's see if it goes off okay. Be using this Black Aces tactical buckshot, 9 pellet load, 2 3/4 inches, 1 1/5 ounce, 1,425 feet a second on the box. And that's what it looks like. Let's take this off the camera, off the tripod I mean, and let's go see. Alright, this is 7 yards, a little off to the left here, that's probably me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I would have to say 9 is probably what a shot wad went through. Then we go down to the other target. And I hit a little low. It's kind of hard lining these up, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1 pellets. Like I said, a little low. It's kind of hard judging, and the ground is uneven here. But that's a typical spread for buckshot. It's probably a foot spread at this distance, a little bit more. I have to measure it. When I take these off the stand, I will. And this is our demonstration of pattern disbursement with a cylinder bore tactical shotgun barrel, 20-inch barrel. And we're back. For this next demonstration, I'm going to use 2 shotguns, drastically different 12-gauge shotguns. One's the TriStar Trap shotgun, semi-automatic, 30-inch barrel, extra full choke. And I'm going to use the Remington 700P with the cylinder bore barrel, no choke, 20 inches in length, slide action shotgun, pump action shotgun. I'm going to fire this Black Aces tactical buckshot, 9 pellet load. One shotgun at each target. The left target down there is going to be the TriStar shotgun with the extra full choke. The right target will be the Remington 870P with no choke, cylinder bore. And I'm going to put the camera down on the targets before I fire. And I'm actually firing beyond this camera. It's measured, it's 25 yards from the firing point to the targets. I'm going to show you the shotguns briefly, and then put the I'll take it off the tripod. 20-inch Remington 870P police shotgun, and the TriStar 30-inch extra full choke. So no choke, extra full choke. We'll see the difference in patterns at 25 yards. I'm going down to put the camera on the target. Hopefully you can capture both impact on both targets. And I'm going to go back and fire the Remington 870 Police on the left target first, and then on the right target the TriStar G2 Trap gun with a 30-inch barrel and extra full choke. Okay, I'm going to take these off in the summary, but briefly, the 870 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pellet hits, 2 are off the target. That's at 25 yards, so it encompasses a wide circle. The TriStar has a tighter pattern. I seem to have lost the pellets on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it's definitely half the size pattern, but we'll go into that in the summary. I'll take these targets off and save them, and that's it for our demonstration. The choke differences: cylinder bore barrel, extra full choke, 20-inch barrel, 30-inch barrel. Could you use the trap gun to hunt? Absolutely. Is it optimal for that? Deer? Actually, it'll hold the pattern tighter for buckshot at longer range to shoot a deer. But we'll go into that in the summary. And that's the pattern test. And I'm back. I'm going to do another demonstration. I'm going to use the Tri-State Trap shotgun with 2 3/4 inch 7.5 birdshot, the Winchester white box stuff, low brass. I'm going to fire the shotgun at 5 yards from this improvised terminal effect target. Bring the camera in on that. It's a 3/4 inch piece of plywood with a water jug behind it, and we'll see if birdshot's lethal at 5 yards, 15 feet inside your house distance, in case you were forced to employ it in a defensive mode as your own shotgun. That's what I seek with this. Bring the camera up. And as you can see, there we go. I'm going to position it so we can get the full effect, get the camera out of harm's way here when the water explodes. And that should be far enough away. Maybe I zoom in a little bit. There we go. All right, 5 yards. Let's see what happens. Okay, that's at 5 yards. Big hole blown through it, basically like a shotgun slug. I could have put more water jugs there, but it shredded the water jug. And we'll talk about that in the summary also. Okay, we're back. I'm going to do a recoil comparison test with this 12 gauge shotgun. It's a 2 3/4 inch low brass 7.5 birdshot load and a 3.5 inch magnum steel BB shot. Number 2, yeah, BB shot. Max loading. All right, I'll show you the difference between the two comparative recoils between the two extremes here. The firearm I'm going to use is a Stoeger M3500 turkey gun. It has a Brenneke inertia recoil action semi-automatic shotgun. You can see the port, larger port, 3.5 inch shells it takes. Obviously you can fire 3 inch and 2 3/4 like we'll do here. So I'll load the 2 3/4 in the chamber first, and we'll fire the Stoeger. I believe I'm in the frame. That was a 2 3/4. Recoil wasn't bad. Now for the 3.5 inch magnum. Ooh, that rocks you a little bit. That's a waterfowl load, geese or turkey load, but 2 ounces a shot in that 3.5 inch magnum. And that's my recoil comparison for the 12 gauge. Slug for 50 yards offhand. That was from trying to adjust the sights before. And then I'm going to go back and shoot at 100 yards. See what kind of pattern we can print here. Alright, here we go. Okay, apparently this shotgun doesn't like this slug ammo on 100. So it's offhand to 50, and the one hit here, the other two went off there. So we'll wrap that up for now. Alright, I've set this up at 50 yards. I'm going to just try a couple of these stars and stripes slugs and see if they print as well as they did offhand. Okay, that's the 2 hits at 50. Pretty wide dispersion. This particular 870 apparently does not like these Brenneke style stars and stripes slugs. This will get the job done on an adversary if you're shooting that far away, or a deer, but I wouldn't stretch it out to 100. I have shot Forster slugs, Remington, Winchester. I'll generally get 3 hits in 9-10 inch circle at 100 yards with this shotgun. So every shotgun's an individual. So this ammo might fire a lot tighter in another shotgun. But in this one, the 870 did not like it. And I'm back with our summary on the versatile 12 gauge shotgun. Just to recap, the shotgun's the most versatile firearm you can own. It fires a wide array of ammunition, from light birdshot to various sizes of buckshot to slugs, basically a single projectile. The shotgun's the easiest firearm to learn how to shoot and hit a target with. That it's then followed by the next hardest would be a rifle, and the hardest firearm to master is a handgun, a pistol. So a shotgun is good if you're just starting out. It has a wide array of uses. Shooting sports, trap, skeet, sporting clays, competitive shooting, 3-gun shooting, IPSC shooting. They have a shotgun event. I do participate in cowboy action shooting from time to time, and you shoot 19th century firearms in speed shooting competition, dressed up like cowboys. One of the components in every stage is a shotgun component. All firearms are tools, and a shotgun is an excellent tool for survival. You can hunt small game, rabbits, game birds, turkey, ducks, geese, deer, bear, elk. If you're close enough with a shotgun slug, you can take an elk down with it. It's a very powerful round, a shotgun slug. It's the most powerful self-defense weapon you can have. 0 to 20 yards. There's nothing better at stopping someone looking to do you harm. We had two different shotguns that kind of opposites in their purpose for the demonstration. We had a 20-inch barreled Remington 870 police shotgun. Old school term would be called a Riot Gun. Cylinder bore, no choke, rifle iron sights, 3-inch chamber. We'll take 2 3/4 and 3-inch shells. We put that up against a dedicated trap gun, a TriStar G2 Trap model, 30-inch barrel, interchangeable chokes. I had an extra full choke in that shotgun for the demonstrations we did. It's a fine shotgun too. It's never let me down. It runs flawlessly. I probably have about 3,500 trap loads through that gun. Over the last 8 years I owned it. The first test I did, I took the 870 police and fired. I had this, electric powered ski thrower, clay pigeon thrower, and we shot clay pigeons. I shot 8 actually, 4 off camera and 4 on camera, and there's only one miss of all them 8 shots with a rifle sighted, basically a Riot Gun, and I was hitting the birds at 25 yards or so. The pattern density is good enough at that range, but it demonstrates that even with a dedicated defense shotgun, you can put it to other uses if you had to. Hunting small game. Obviously, it's got rifle sights. You can employ slugs. For the slug demonstration later in the video, the slugs I had on hand were American. I never even heard of the brand. I picked them up in a local store. Since the pandemic a few years back, the ammo is scarce, and it comes in dribs and drabs. I used to shoot nothing but a Winchester or Remington slugs. They're hard to find. They're iffy. These were Brenneke type slugs, and that 870 shotgun did not like it. It wouldn't group them. It was basically good to about 50 yards. It was very erratic at 100. And I've shot that shotgun with Forster type slugs Federal, Winchester, Remington, and it generally you put 3 slugs on a 9-inch dinner plate at 100 yards would take on. But obviously, every shotgun you have to test the ammo you're going to use with it, and that's the lesson there. I had the buckshot dispersal target. I had 2 IPSC targets, one at 7 yards from the shotgun, one at 17 yards. Fired 1 shot, 00 buck. All the buckshot I fired in that video, I didn't say it, but it was 00 buck. 33 caliber pellets, 9 pellet load, 2 3/4 inch. Another Wolf brand, Black Aces. I guess a smaller manufacturer. I picked it up in a local store. That's all they had. It patterns well, it shoots well, so I have nothing bad to say about it. We have the targets. I'm going to shoot the reverse side because I used the same target on for the 25-yard pattern comparison between the 2 shotguns, and then this was the solo target. This was the 70-yard hit with the 870 with the buckshot. This circle here. Obviously, I put a paper target to cover the holes, like I say with the IPSC target. Nice pattern. It's probably about 6 inches, so about 6 inches across. And then the 17-yard target, obviously I did the same thing, a piece of white paper to cover it so I could use it again. These were all 9 hits here, 17 yards, and basically it's about 11.5 inch spread, which is actually good. It's a pretty good tight pattern for that buckshot load. Next, we compared the 2 of them, the TriStar Trap gun with the 30-inch barrel and the extra full choke, and the Remington 870 police shotgun with no choke, cylinder bore. This is the 870 target. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it did clip the top here, 8. But this is your pattern dispersion. And obviously 1 pellet was lost. A lot wider than the TriStar with the full choke. All right. Let's see. Put this on here. It shows up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All 9 are on there. I'm sorry. A hole over here. 9 hits. This one was a flyer. This pattern's about half the size of the 870 pattern. It's about 11 inches. About 11 inches at 25 yards. Obviously, if you employed the trap gun for deer hunting, it would probably hold a decent pattern out to about 40 yards with the 00 buck, and you could hunt the deer with it. The 870p, you might get 3 or 4 hits at 40 yards, 3 hits maybe. I didn't have the range to run it out. That's the difference between the chokes, barrel length, and but obviously you could deploy either gun in either role. That's the versatility of the shotgun. We did a recoil comparison. I used my Stoker turkey gun. It's a poor man's Brenneke. The Brenneke version of that is 3 times the price. 26-inch barrel, camouflaged. I actually have it right here. It's 3.5-inch chamber. Good reliable gun. Fired a 2 3/4-inch low brass 7.5 shot birdshot Federal out of it, and then a 3.5-inch magnum, 1 9/16 ounce BB shot. Let's quote the 2 ounce from this other 3-inch magnum load. This is lead shot. It weighs 2 ounces max load. I didn't use that. I used the steel, the Federal. Obviously the 3.5 inch kicks a whole lot more than the 2 3/4. Shotgun recoil is very manageable even for a novice as long as you're holding the gun properly. You have to tuck it into the pocket of your shoulder. Pull, push with the forend a little bit, and just about even small stature people can absorb the recoil. Lately in the defensive ammunition realm, there's 8 pellet light tactical loadings of the double O buck, 1 pellet less, light recoil. So if you're really recoil sensitive, that might be the way to go. But the 2 3/4 inch 9 pellet buckshot loads do not recoil much. You can get 12 pellet 2 3/4 inch express loads and 12 pellets of double O buck. They kick harder, and then obviously the 3-inch magnum loading is 15 buckshot pellets, and they may even have an 3.5 inch loading. That would be 18 pellets, like the 10 gauge. Effective range 0 to 100 yards. We did the birdshot test. Number 7 birdshot, 7.5, same shell, same load. Fired at 5 yards out of the trap gun. That was to demonstrate if you had you only had one gun in the house, you're a trap shooter or a skeet shooter, and you had to defend your life in the house, and all you have is birdshot on hand. Is it lethal at inside room ranges, 5-6 yards, 15-18 feet? Yes, quite lethal. We shot that with the water jug behind it. This 3/4 inch piece of plywood. The old general rule is if it go through 3/4 inch piece of plywood, it's lethal. You can see the massive holes, like a shotgun slug went through it, but you can see a couple little pellet hits, but the main charge went right through the plywood and blew up the water jug. Which is here. I could have put others behind it. That was the exit. I went in there, come out the back. It was captured nicely on camera. And I know I'm forgetting something. I have to apologize for my sinuses. I got bad sinuses. They constantly run when I'm talking sometimes. Interferes with my presentation. Yeah, we had the birdshot as a defensive round. We had the Riot Gun used as a skeet gun. We did the buckshot comparison, pattern entropy, and then 2 different patterns with 2 different guns. The slugs were presentation kind of a wash, and I did the recoil comparison just to show you the difference. The 3.5 inch magnum loads, they do kick, but obviously it's a hunting load. You're going to shoot a few rounds of them, and you're not shooting this all day like you're trap shooting. So, but it is pretty serious recoil. 2 ounces of mass is like 875 grains bullet, or that much mass. It's a lot of weight being launched, and a lot of recoil. Newtonian physics. A reaction is an equal and opposite reaction, and that goes into your shoulder. And with that, I think that will end our presentation of the versatile 12 gauge shotgun. If you like this content, hit the like button and subscribe or share, and I'll continue making these, as this is kind of like a hobby for this old guy. And this is Old Gun Guy, and have a good evening.